Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jordi, your instructor, and welcome to my course. In this video lesson, I'm going to talk about the small camera. And then I'm talking about the DSLR, of course. The DSLR camera is a small camera. Now that is a good thing, because whenever we want to do long shoulder shots or anything like that, we can just mount it onto a shoulder rig and start using it as a big camera. But when we want to do small work and we want to put the camera somewhere that a big camera can't reach, then we can just take the small camera as it is. And that is also something that isn't being used that much. And that's actually a pity, because that is also one of the things that makes DSLR cinematography, using the small camera as it is, and actually using it on places where a bigger camera can't reach. Some of the examples you can see here in my keynote. So this is a shot that we were rigging inside a car. So we had our slider on the back of the car, and we can just put on the small camera on top of it, and it all fits in the car. And here you can see the shot in action. So it was possible to do something like this. You can see this is a great shot. What you're also able to do is put it on the dashboard, as you can see right here. We didn't have to take out the front window as they do in motion picture films, or just shoot through the window and then you've got all these reflections. No, we were just able to put the camera on the dashboard. And I've got some more examples. So right here, someone is on the phone in the car. That is illegal, by the way. Don't do that. But as you can see, this creates a shot that you don't see that much because it's pretty hard to make. Now with the DSLR cameras, it's actually pretty simple to do. So do that, because that really creates something unique, and that is what we want with DSLR cinematography. And here I have another shot. We use that framing a lot to have some kind of red line throughout the short film that we've created. This is, by the way, my girlfriend. And she's a very good actress too. All right, then the next thing I want to show you is a scene right here. And as you can see, there's a guy just picking out one of those cans. This is again something that isn't possible with a big motion camera or any other big cameras like an XD camera or anything like that. And you can also see that we are again working in those layers that we really want to have. Let me show you that video again. So there was a wall behind the camera, so it wasn't possible to put a big camera in there. But as you can see, with having that small camera, the DSLR, we had a great looking image, that shallow depth of field, that cinematic look, and still we were able to shoot something like this. And that is something you have to do more and more. It's a small camera, use it as a small camera. That is one of the biggest tips I can give you with the whole course actually. And then here's also a very good example. So this is also a short film that I made. And the scene was about friends taking a picture of themselves. And of course it wasn't a picture, it was a piece of video, it was a motion picture. And so one thing that wasn't possible with big cameras was that they were holding the camera themselves. So then I had to hold the camera, and they just had to put their arms out like that. But then you would never have that natural motion. Now with the DSLR, they were able to hold the camera themselves, and you had that natural motion of when they were holding that camera. And the second thing that we also had was, when you take a look at her glasses, you have the reflection of the DSLR camera in there. Now whenever you also want to have that reflection with a motion picture camera, you had to do Photoshopping or After Effects work in order to have that photo camera reflection in her sunglasses. Now, the DSLR is a photo camera, so we don't have to do any After Effects work or anything like that. Again, a great example to show you how to use the camera as it is, a small camera. All right, and then there's one last thing I want to talk about, and that is the GoPro. Also a small camera, but it's being misused too much. Now, don't get me wrong here, guys. The GoPro is a great camera, but it shoots in that one layer. And as I've told you before, whenever we want to do DSLR filmmaking, we will never shoot in a one-layer composition. Make sure you always have 2 layers. So whenever you want to mix a DSLR look with that GoPro, it's just not possible. Now, of course, whenever a mountain biker or anything like that wants to put a camera on their helmet and want to ride through the forest or anything like that, it's not really possible to put a DSLR on their helmet. It is a small camera, the DSLR, but it's not that small, of course. But when I take a look back at the previous video that I showed you with those scans, a lot of people would have put a GoPro in there. And that is just something you cannot do. You have to use the DSLR camera as much as you can and the GoPro camera as less as you can. When we take a look at the industry, we've got 2 categories. We've got the film industry and we've got the video industry. The DSLR takes place in the film industry, while the GoPro takes place in the video industry. In the video industry, we'll find more and more of that one-layer compositions. While in the film industry, people work with that shallow depth of field, because that is what film is all about. Now, my personal thought is that video really has to slow down more and more, and that it's all going to be more film or cinematic. I've also shown you that example in my previous lesson on that Apple event. Normally people from the video industry would do something like that. But I shot that event from out the film industry. Because the DSLR camera is such a small camera, we are able to mount it on a small slider and then we are able to create those beautiful looking cinematic images on an event. That is something very rare and I'm really hoping to see that more and more now. Also from you guys, because I have just taught you how the cinematography of the DSLR camera works. Alright guys, that's it for the cinematography of the DSLR camera. I want to thank you a lot for watching, and in the next lesson, which is also going to be the next chapter, I am going to teach you the post-production when it comes to DSLRs. And I'm going to start with explaining the workflow, from loading in your footage to exporting your footage. Thanks again for watching.